Hi, everybody. We are here live, and you may recognize that I am not at the store location. I am at home sitting on my sofa, and Jared with Colorado Hemp Honey is with us as well. And as you can see, he's at his house. Tis the way of 2020 these days to be Zooming and live streaming from our homes. But I spent the day at the store and figured tonight I would stay here on my sofa and talk to everybody since that's the convenient thing we can do. And it's a wonderful way to be able to be home, like you said, with your animals and your kids. I have 2 homeschooled children as well right now. So it's a great thing to be able to do and still be able to connect.
Exactly. All we need is our glass of wine, right?
That's right.
It's after
Exactly.
5.
I hope everybody is listening. We're starting to have people jump on right now. I hope they all do have their glasses of wine. Hi, Christine. I see that you've jumped on and said hello. Welcome. If you are here and joining us, oh gosh, I see lots of people joining. Please feel free to say hello to us. We'd love to know that you're there. And as you can see, Merida is sitting right here next to me. You can't see her, but she has joined the Facebook Live with us. And Aurora is down on the floor sleeping. So hopefully everybody will stay nice and quiet for this Facebook Live. But welcome, Jared. We are big fans of Colorado Hemp Honey and your product. So I'd love for you to tell us a little bit more about the history behind Colorado Hemp Honey and kind of when it began, what the inspiration was behind it, and give us a little bit of history.
Yeah, no, I'd love to. So when I first started, that was kind of like, hey, what is this all about? How did this all begin? Why did you do this, Nick? And, his history, he was in the military, came out, went into some finance, and then really saw a need, right, for his brothers and sisters that have gone, into the field and come out of the field. And there was this unique moment when he had a neighbor who was a beekeeper and started having issues and wasn't able to take care of the bees. And he had this massive passion for these bees and what they do, right? And I mean, 1/3 of everything that we have on this planet is because of these bees.
Yeah.
And so Nick got involved as kind of like an after work activity to go down to his neighbor's house and help him out and so on and so forth. And the very next year, he just said, Nick, I can't do this anymore. So here's my hives, right? Like you're passing the buck, right? And shortly after, he was just making just this raw artesian honey and, enjoying it in his own tea and coffee and, giving it to friends and family. And locally, right there in Colorado, he's in Parker, there was a family that moved into their neighborhood because there was a little girl who suffered from epilepsy. So she had a really hard time taking this medicine, right? And obviously cannabinoids, right? And everything to help with that. And in a tincture form. And so, much like myself, I have children, you have children, when they don't want to take something, it's like, oh my gosh, right?
How am I going to make this happen?
Exactly. Yeah. So now you're like, okay, I have to give this to my kid 3 times a day, 5 times a day, whatever it might be. Well, just neighborly sort of situations happen. They happen to meet. And Nick's like, spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down, right? Like
Absolutely.
the old, exactly. So his wife, Allie, she is a aromatherapist. And so a lot of the things that, any sort of essential oils that you would ever take, you should never take them by themselves. And so she would always pair it with honey, right? Those were the 2 things that you put together to be able to ingest it. And what that did is it coats the mouth, right? So it gets into all those receptor sites within the mouth and right into the bloodstream. And she just said like, well, excuse me, hey, why don't we just give them some honey and tell them to put, their tincture in the honey and their daughter will love it. And so they gave her some of this artesian honey and, boom, 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 all of a sudden, like these 3 or 4 times a day that you're like, oh my God, here I go again. I've got to give my child this medicine and I'm going to have to go through this 10, 15-minute ordeal. Gone. Like,
Yeah.
mouth open. Where's my honey? Right.
Yeah.
And administered it. It actually started to work a little bit faster than they had noticed before, right? Because of just that bioavailability, the way that it just went straight into your bloodstream.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of going back in the very beginning of the story, Nick, leaving the military and everything else, he's like, hey, I think I'm onto something here, right? And at that point, they, started to kind of dabble in this whole, how could we infuse hemp into honey? And so they started going to farmers markets and whatnot back in like 2008 with just their artesian honey. And then soon after, which is the Frangiosa Farms.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, they just branched off into Colorado Hemp Honey because now they're actually, adding the hemp into it and everything else. And then Allie got involved, obviously, with the aromatherapy side of it all, and seeing that the cannabinoids that are in the hemp. There's also different types of cannabinoids that are in your essential oils, and how do those interact with each other, and how do they make it even more bioavailable? And so, when it first started, it was just our raw artesian honey with the hemp oil, and then it sort of expanded from there with adding lemon and then tangerine and ginger and doing a turmeric and black pepper and all of those um, added benefits from the essential oils and the turmeric and black pepper, and that's sort of the way it just
More.
naturally morphed and happened. Exactly.
I
Yeah.
love that it started and I guess we should be clear about this, is it started as a human company,
Mm-hmm.
a company for humans that has now translated over to a company for humans and pets.
Exactly.
So it can be
Well,
used
and kind of with all of that, right? Like, we're mammals, right? I mean, humans are mammals, your dogs are mammals, your chinchilla's a mammal, all of these types of things. And so we have receptor sites, a CB1 and CB2 receptor. And, with using full spectrum hemp, right? It's kind of like that entourage effect where it goes in and you've got all these locks inside your body, and those cannabinoids um, go in and attach to those endocannabinoids and start to unlock them. And basically, it just balances you out. So for a human, right, it might be anxiety or sleeping issues or, all these sorts of things. And then you look at, an animal that has separation anxiety or, on and on, digestive issues, cognitive brain disorders, and all of a sudden, like, this hemp is able to really balance the animal out, inside myself and inside the dogs and cats and everything else. um, and on the second part there, Nick saw all of this and was like, how do I give back to my veterans, right? Like, this is something that I can do and give back to my veterans. And so there's a little piece incorporated within our brand where Nick gives back to this Veterans to Farmers Association, where it helps veterans leave, the field and
Mhm.
come to learn to work in a farming environment.
Well, very cool. I
Yeah.
didn't know
So, yep. Every sale you make goes towards that. It's 10 cents to every dollar. So it's
Sure,
pretty
and
awesome.
a very worthy cause, especially for veterans who have gone to protect our country and have signed up for that and need our help when they return. That's a wonderful cause. We love that.
Exactly. And getting them back into the workforce here, right? And giving them this um, purpose, right? I mean, I've heard Nick talk about this a few times. It's like leaving the military and, like, what's your purpose anymore, right? Like,
Mhm.
what do I do? And this has really inspired him to, continue down this path and continue to help people and pets.
Well, and speaking of CBD, a couple of things. I mean, CBD especially in tinctures, can be kind of a bitter flavor. So I
Mm-hmm.
can certainly see how the honey helps it out. The second irony is I'll show you this little dog that is sitting with me. Some of our followers, I see that Julianne is on, will know him, but he is my little Tasmanian devil. His name is Mole, and he has been tremendously helped by some natural ways because I pulled him from the shelter a year and a half ago, well, a little less than a year and a half ago, and he was a biter. And I'm not going to tell you that every day is great with him. In fact, today he's a little grumpy, but CBD has made a world of difference in his life and made a world of difference in our lives dealing with him. And I came home tonight and he was a little bit grumpy, and I'm like, okay, time for a little bit extra CBD. And so we have definitely seen the difference that CBD can make. And of course, knowing the health benefits of honey and
Yep.
how wonderful honey can be, I can absolutely, we just absolutely love Colorado hemp honey.
Well, I mean, it gives that immune boost. There's the bee pollen and the bee propolis. So, if there are any allergy issues, all of that is present as well. Honey is also very dynamic, right? I mean, it's filled with tons of B vitamins.
Mm-hmm.
Ching. And omegas. I mean, it's almost, I mean, you can't say it's like taking a multivitamin, but if you think about all the things that would be in a multivitamin, it's
Mm-hmm.
present within honey, and it's pretty amazing. So it
Powerful.
sort of like jump starts and makes that immune system start to work with the hemp, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then with that endocannabinoid system within their body, right? It just sort of like really, really helps it out. It's amazing. I mean, I have, like we talked about earlier, 2 children, 10 and 5, and my 10-year-old has had some focus issues, right? Well, not
Mm-hmm.
issues. She's 10 years old, right? I mean, come on.
Yeah, I think every 10-year-old probably has focus issues.
Totally, but here we are going to school all day and, or at home school all day long, and then added on top of that homework and everything else. And it's like, okay, take a break, have a honey stick, hang out for a while and come back. And I mean, just the focus that she's able to put back into her homework and schoolwork is tremendous. It has really changed our home life, especially being home
Oh,
altogether for the last, 8 months
yeah.
plus or
Well,
so.
that's a good tip too. I'd never thought about that when I'm at the office, having a little bit of a lull. That might be, pop a little honey stick and give a little bit of time to also, you know, give clarity, hopefully, and
You
work
bet.
on that. And so, obviously, you guys are located in Colorado.
We are.
Are all of the ingredients sourced from Colorado, or do some of the ingredients come from other locations?
Yeah, no, so we have our own farm there in Parker, Colorado,
Mm-hmm.
and Nick has, I want to say like 45 or so hives on the farm, as well as where we, grow all of our hemp. So we manufacture, do everything right there at the farm. We do have other hives throughout the Denver area.
Mm-hmm.
And we only put them in residential areas so that we can stay away from any type of pesticides. So if it was on any type of commercial land, they're going to spray for, pests and things like
Mm-hmm.
that. And so
Sure.
automatically, kind of defeats the purpose there.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, no, it's everything is done right there at the facility in Parker, Colorado. It's pretty awesome.
And so your original products are the honey infused with things like the lemon and the tangerine, and then you have a ginger soothe
Hmm.
and the turmeric and black pepper.
Yep,
But talk about, you guys have a lot of new products that have come out.
we
Uh,
have.
I'll be
Yeah.
honest, one of my favorites is the bone broth. I do love it. think it is the coolest thing. Yeah, I think it is such a cool thing. So let's talk a little bit about some of your new products.
Yeah, no, totally. So, I mean, obviously, honey, very unique delivery system, right, for the full spectrum hemp. And what we decided to do is kind of like broaden that in a way. And so, Nick and Allie sat down, and I'm not sure exactly how it all happened, but um, I know they use a lot of bone broth right at home, and making different foods, and cooking and everything else. And all the benefits that come from the bone broth. And they thought, well, hey, wait a second. Is there another opportunity for this delivery system with bone broth? Right.
Mhm.
And so they started looking into how we might be able to do that. And it took probably, 8, 9, 10 months of them working through, some good times and bad times, but getting it right. And then adding specific botanicals, right? Kind of going back to Allie's side of things, how to enhance the product and make it even more bioavailable and to help with the body even more. And so that's why you have one that has the green tea, and the other one with the boswellia, right? Which is frankincense, right? So very healing, very, immune, um, uplifting, helps kill bacteria.
Which one
It's
has the elderberry?
and
The
one, yep, the boswellia and ginger, and then the elderberry and green tea. Yep,
Okay.
and which won't give it away quite yet, but there's something else coming on the way with some elderberry.
Oh, exciting. I love elderberry syrup. I am a big believer in elderberry syrup, but I really do love those bone broths. And one of the things I always encourage our customers do is if they feed a kibble diet, to always hydrate it
Mhm.
with some form of nutrition. So whether it be bone broth or goat milk or, fish stock, turkey stock, something like that. But this is a great way to add great, powerful benefits to a kibble diet. And it's in a very convenient pump bottle, and you will find it at our store locations in the bone broth section with all the other bone broths we carry. But it's a really, really cool product.
Well,
Uh,
not only that, but it's cool, but it's also a value. It's sometimes thinking like, okay, you might see the product and it's like sitting next to a bone broth that's $12, and all of a
yeah,
sudden ours is $60. And it's like,
it's a big difference, but there's a reason.
what am I getting here? Right. And
Yeah.
so, really, when you break it down, you're going to get 120 pumps in this bottle. Right. And so it equates to less than 50 cents a pump.
Wow.
And when you're, feeding it, like you said, or adding it to your food, whether it's, 2 or 3 pumps, depending upon your dog's, weight,
Hmm.
you're looking at adding $1, maybe $1.50 to their entire, meal for that day. But
Hmm.
on top of that, you're going to get 15 milligrams of full spectrum hemp. And then with that, inside of that, full spectrum, 9 milligrams is actually CBD. So it's a very potent product, right? I mean, they're really getting
Right.
everything they need. And it's probably our most valued product, in, when you look at all of our products in a line, that is going to be the highest CBD content of any of our products.
So, how many pumps would you put in, say, a mole size portion?
Just one.
Just one pump. And I
Yeah.
mean, so what would you do for a 50-pound dog?
So it's a one pump for every 20 pounds.
20 pounds?
So for like a 50-pound dog, I would say you could get away with 2 to 3, depending upon, what you want to do.
Sure.
Which, if you think about, if there's 120 pumps and you're adding 2 pumps
Right.
to your food, right? That's 2 month supply of the bone broth,
Right.
right? So when you break it
And
down
not
like that,
of
it
the bone
becomes,
broth, but also of the CBD. So if you're already giving bone broth and CBD, then you have to consider that you're having it combined.
yep. Yep. And we do a really unique emulsification process
Mhm.
with this so that it mixes it just perfectly so that you're getting that exact dosage that we're talking about every single time. And, some people probably aren't very familiar with like an emulsification process, but basically it's like it's whipped up so fast that it like spreads the molecules, and when it's added into the bone broth, it separates and stays exactly where it is within it. And so that's what allows you to just do that pump, 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 and you're getting the exact same dosage every single time.
Every time. That's cool. Now we do have the bombs. Let's talk a little bit about the bombs and about the healing powers of the bomb.
The bombs are amazing. They're the bomb. Okay. Kind of cool. I mean, I think I have one right here that I keep on my desk quite often, which is the Boswellia one. I like to go fishing, and there's quite a few mosquitoes out there, and I'll forget sometimes to spray an area or whatnot, and I'll come home with a few bug bites, and honest to God, within 40 seconds of putting this on an itchy mosquito bite, it's gone. I mean, there's really no more itch, no more anything. I mean, it's amazing. But we're using the beeswax, right, from our hives, and then we're adding in, the full spectrum hemp. There's also arnica in each one of these products, which is also an immune booster. It helps with like pain, also bruising and things like that. But then, depending upon which one it is, the Boswellia or the lavender, they have some additional healing qualities to it as well. Lavender is very soothing. Man, if my kids are up late at night, I'm like, time to go to bed, guys. Like, time to calm down. On the animals, it's fantastic. You can put it right inside their ear, like it's right into that blood. Here we go. Here we go. Here comes some.
Sorry, I thought we'd avoided this. My pet corrector is handy, but my postal carrier just came to the door. But we got it done real fast and we see the pet corrector. I apologize about that. But okay, so we're talking about the balm.
Yeah, no. So, I mean, applying it on an animal for like any sort of calming, you put it right in the inside of their ear because, again, it gets right into that bloodstream really quickly. If you were to put in their paws, right, it'll help with like cracked paws and things like that just because of the lanolin within the beeswax that really helps draw the moisture in. That's always great, but it's not going to really maybe give that calming effect like you're looking for. But yeah, right there in the ears for the dogs, tons of testimonial from customers that have used it, groomers that have had to like put masks on dogs just to groom them, that now they don't have to put muzzles on them anymore. They're still a little bit standoffish of what may happen, but at the same time, we've had a lot of groomers start to use this product as well. Fantastic price point on this, and it's no touch. So, I mean, literally you can just like take the top off, swirl it up as far as you need it to go or whatnot and start to apply it.
And one of the comments, one of our staff members, Curdy, said that she's been using the balm on her dog Molly's hot spot, and that even just after one day, it's already improved tremendously. So, I mean, it's amazing the different ways in which you can use the balms, both from a calming standpoint, but also from a healing standpoint.
You bet. This summer, my youngest daughter, 5 years old, kept licking her lips all the time and had like that red mark above her lip. And I was like, okay, let's give it a shot. And, put it right on. And within like half the day, the redness went away. And we were just like, oh my gosh, this is great. So it's like, she's sitting there, her lips are dry. You see her licking them a bunch. I'm like, go grab that balm and put it on, I mean, and then, for animal, it's the same thing, animals and people. I mean, it's just a crossover between the two. And that's why, everything's pretty much shareable, right? I mean, our bone broth is actually designed for pets. The balm, this one here, is actually designed for pets. We have a separate one for humans. But we have started to kind of separate the two now that we've kind of grown up a little bit.
I know that I had a foster dog recently that came to me with a hematoma on his ear. He had, I think, been stung by a bee and it had swelled up, which, again, can cause a hematoma. But we used, at the time, we didn't have your balms quite yet, but I used a balm with arnica in it. I did a little bit of research, and arnica was one of those things that could help it. And it went down almost flat. We didn't even have to drain it or anything. I mean, it was still a little thick and still had some scar tissue in it, but it definitely helped so much. So even, I would say, even if you have a dog that has a hematoma or some kind of residual issue with the hematoma, you may try the balm with arnica in it because it helps an
It
amazing
really does.
amount. I was like, oh, we'll just try this and see. And I wasn't expecting the results we got, but we got some really good results. It went down tremendously. It really did.
That's so cool to hear.
Well,
It really is.
tell me about what's your favorite product within the line.
So, I mean, at home, my two favorite products are the sticks, the honey sticks, just because they're so easy to actually use. My kids will come in and be like, "Hey, Dad, can I have a honey stick?" And I'm just like, "Cool, no problem," right? Um, so these have really just changed our life here at home. Um, I do give the turmeric and black pepper to my boxer. She's 12 years old, and she's a little bit slower than she ever was before. So that's really helped her sort of, I feel like it's really helped her maintain, she
Mm-hmm.
hasn't started to decline.
Fine. Mm-hmm.
Um, so I truly believe in these. And then the bombs. I mean, I've used the bombs so many times now. My mother-in-law has rheumatoid arthritis, and she was at our house during Thanksgiving, Christmas time, and helping cook, and was like, "Hey, Jared, I'm gonna have to go sit down for a little while. My hands are killing me." She put the bomb on and was back in the kitchen maybe 10 minutes later making rolls. Right? I mean,
Yeah,
like
with her hands.
kneading and doing everything, and it's like, wow, this is amazing. I went whitewater rafting, like floating with my daughters and a couple of buddies, and I ended up kind of jumping out of the boat and hit my heel really hard on a rock, and just walking hurt. And when I got home, put some balm on it, and in the morning when I woke up and got out of bed, it was like it never happened, and I just keep having really, really compelling situations where it's like, I mean, the mosquito bites.
Alone,
I'm
no reason.
I'm
I get
I'm
like
really
one
allergic to
second.
mosquito bites. So if I
Yeah,
get one, I promise you, like I'll have it for like a month. It just doesn't go away,
yeah.
and it just itches and itches and itches and itches. And I've been able to put this on, and within maybe a week, it doesn't even itch anymore, and it's
Mhm.
just done. Um, I might have itched it a few times, so it's got to heal. But I'm just saying, this stuff takes away the itch like no other. The lavender one, you know, if I picked up my computer right now, my dog is literally just asleep as can be right over here, and I'm lucky that we're not hearing her just snore. But we'll use that with her at times. I know we used it at 4th of July. So our neighborhood was setting off all sorts of fireworks and having fun and everything else. And Luna's running out the dog door and going into the backyard and coming back. And I mean, you guys are probably like, shame on you, Jared. Why didn't you think of this before? And, give her some honey and whatever. But I mean, she didn't react to it the way that she did this year in times past.
Mhm.
So um, I, I didn't wait to give her honey. I immediately just put the balm in her ear. And within maybe 10, 15 minutes, she's like laying in her bed, and it's just like, whatever now. We actually brought her out front with us after that and let her like watch them and everything else, just so she knew like what was causing this noise and
Yeah.
everything else, and had no problem. She didn't want to chase them. She wasn't trying to do anything like that.
Oh, that's great.
Um, yeah, so that's kind of my story on them, and I would definitely say bombs are just so convenient. I mean, fits in your
Yeah.
pocket, you can take it anywhere with you. It's no touch, so you don't get that oiliness on you or anything trying to apply it. Um, We always take it camping. We always take it everywhere with us now. I mean, it's just one of those things like, like
Million
some of
different
those.
uses.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, tell us about, I mean, are there some new products coming down the line that you can share, or some new directions that you guys might be going?
There are. So, we've continued to sort of develop some new products. Obviously, like we talked about with the bone broth and the bombs. But Nick's passion has really been with the honey, right? And so looking at sort of our lineup of honey, it's like, well, what's missing, or what can we do to enhance this and make it even better for our customers and clients? And so um, we are now going to be introducing here in October, hopefully hitting your shelves by November. And I'll just hold it up real quick just so that you can see. But
Oh,
we're going to be
cool.
doing an elderberry infused honey. And so
Oh,
it's the black
wow.
elderberry, and all of the benefits from the black elderberry being that huge immune booster, really helps with the antioxidant response within the body as well. It's paired up with the same full spectrum hemp and then our artesian honey, but it's really going to deliver that extra punch for our immune systems. And I'm
Just
sure
in time for cold and flu season.
got
Yeah.
it. You got it. So I think this is going to really hit home in a lot of ways, where people will be in your stores and see it and go, oh, it's shareable. Cool. So I can take this too, and I can give it to my dog, and look at all of these, added benefits that it's going to help out with my animal, and look at what it's going to do for myself. And it's purple, right? It's a beautiful purple color. Um, so I think this one's going to be fantastic. It's line priced with the rest of our stuff, so it's not going to be any more expensive than your lemon or ginger or turmeric or any of those.
Okay.
And it's less expensive than our double strength, obviously.
Yeah, double strength. It's expensive. It's funny. When we were going through your product lineup, when we first were bringing in the line, I was surprised to see the coffee.
Yeah.
You guys have the CBD or hemp infused coffee. It's
Hmm.
very expensive, but it is such an. Every time I go to place an order, I think,
Should
how much
I?
do I really want that coffee? So interesting to me.
So
Uh,
I've had quite a few stores on the pet side of things. I manage both sides of the business for Colorado Hemp Honey. So
mhm.
I also manage the human side. And coffee is it's a hot item. I mean, it's pretty cool. The only thing to think about though when it comes to the coffee is you want to use a French press or like an espresso.
Okay.
So if you do use like any of those paper filters and like a drip coffee system, it's gonna
Deal.
take that oil from you that you're wanting to
Paying
consume.
for.
Yep, yep.
It is a pricey product, but it does look very cool. One day I will get that and try it. I think it is a cool product.
Well, we'll have to talk to Dave, and I'll get you like some coffee to
But
try out.
that'd be great. Yeah. I mean, we really love the products and we love standing behind this. I know that for some of our customers, they may come in and see the sticks or even see the little glass containers and wonder what it all is about. Our many of our staff members do take it or use it in their teas, but also use it for their pets. But there are so many different ways to use it, from calming anxiety to stress in the car. If you have a dog that's car sick, using the ginger soothe to help soothe upset tummies, things like that. I mean, it just is such a versatile product, and I think that that's the coolest thing about it. The product line you guys have is so versatile, has so many
Yeah.
different uses.
Thank you. It does. Yeah, we're really
Yeah.
proud of everything that we're doing over there, and trying to follow, organic, farming practices. And Nick really cares for these bees. I mean, it's amazing how, one or two things can completely disrupt a complete colony. And Nick has done just a tremendous job with dealing with mites and all the things that come with bees, in a very natural way, right? And so, for instance, with bees, to get them to groom themselves, there's like an organic powdered sugar that you can like sprinkle over the top of them. And then they're like, oh, wait a second, I need to groom myself, right? And they start to go in and pull out those mites. And so it's been able to,
Oh.
withstand these issues that come around with having hemp, right? And so hemp is known for spider mites and all these sorts of things. And so we're using ladybugs and praying mantis in our fields to really be our pesticides, right? I mean, that's what we use.
And natural
Um,
pesticide.
yep, exactly. And so it's just like this little ecosystem that he's built out there, where everything helps each other for the one common idea.
Well, and we need to protect our bees for so many reasons. They are important, as we've all come to learn so quickly. But it is nice to be able to find ways naturally that you can protect them, and also have, the natural um, benefit of the good
Hmm.
honey. On the flip side of it, I love honey. My one of my sons and I make smoothies frequently, and one of
Hmm.
the ingredients always is honey. We absolutely love honey. While we are finishing up talking, I'd invite everybody, if you have questions for Jared about Colorado Hemp Honey, or anything you'd like to know about their product line or about honey in general, maybe, or CBD, feel free to post a question. Debbie Hatley posted a question just a little bit ago asking about honey being good for dog allergies, like red feet and, dogs licking their paws and things like that. And right now is a great time to talk about allergies. We think about allergies in the spring, but I was just at my parents' house last weekend, and the goldenrod is out, and ironweed, and they have lots of different pollens going like crazy up there. So, to that point, can you talk a little bit about how honey works for allergies?
Right. So that's a great question, and sort of like that old wives' tale per se about only being able to have local honey within your area. Um, when you think about the country and what type of wildflowers are out there, and fruit trees, and pollen, based products, or plants, right, that are
Mhm.
producing pollen anywhere you go within the country, it's going to be very common across the board, right? I mean, you might have a specific, flower in your area that we might not find in Washington State, and the exact opposite. But the broad spectrum of it all is going to be very common. And so, by our bees, foraging all over, and Nick providing, these wildflowers around our farm, and ensuring that they have all of the nutrients they need to develop themselves and their hives and everything else, um, that transfers into the body, right? And so, by taking that raw honey that has the bee propolis and the bee pollen present, it it boosts your immune system, your animal's immune system, to be able to deal with those pollens that they're breathing in and whatnot. It's almost, I mean, I'm not saying it, but I'm going to say it, but it's almost like, like a vaccination type of idea, right?
Mhm.
The more you have it, the more exposed you are to it, the better off you are around it.
Mhm.
And that's really the idea, with using honey to boost your immune system against allergies.
Mhm. No, I absolutely am a big believer. And I know that for a few years, I started suffering from some seasonal allergies and started taking a spoonful of honey every day. And, ever since I started doing that, I haven't really had any issues any longer.
You're like, what's this seasonal stuff? I don't even know.
Yeah, I feel fine.
Yep.
So I have seen the power of honey in that regard. Um, well, I don't have any other questions. If anybody has any other questions, feel free to pop them up there. I will keep watching them. But we were going to talk about potentially doing a deal in the store on the Colorado Hemp Honey products. And so maybe we could do something from now until the end of September.
Fantastic.
Okay, so we'll do a discount on the Colorado Hemp Honey products at both store locations, and we'll do that through the end of September. We'll start tomorrow. I'll get it entered into our system,
Okay.
and you guys can come in and try things out. I know that we have worked with some customers, and if they're very interested in taking a sample of the honey, we will help you out with a free honey stick to get a sample of it. On World Bee Day, which was in August, we gave away free honey sticks, and that was a big success. I mean, it was a very cool product, and something I think it's easy to walk past because it's something different and something people don't know, but something they're definitely missing out on by not trying.
You bet. Well, let's run it at 20% off.
Okay, perfect.
You bet.
We will do 20% off Colorado Hemp Honey and all of those products, including the bone broth and the balms and the jars, or if you are a frequent purchaser of sticks, be 20% off across the board.
And just one thing to know, if you don't already know, we did sign up with Astro just earlier this year. So we started a frequent buyer program with our honey jars. So if you do have customers that are purchasing it and they want to get started on that frequent buyer program, you can jump on that with them as well.
Always a good incentive for Astro. If you're watching tonight and you're not familiar with Astro, it is our frequent buyer program that allows you to get rewards in return. It also is an app on your phone, so you can download it on your phone and keep up with how many free things you have coming up, and you can track your purchases that way. And you can also see special savings on a monthly basis on our website. All of our Astro promotions on a monthly basis are posted on there. And Marty Heim is saying, I think I'll stock up on those sticks. They're happy sticks, Marty Heim. We all could use a little bit more reason to be happy these days. And they're definitely good for that. But if you have anything else you want to add, Jared, we really appreciate you coming on tonight.
No, I really appreciate you having me and us being able to put this together. And this is an amazing platform that you were able to put together to have this, time together. And, I look forward to, making my way out there and visiting your store with Dave here. Hopefully, probably in 2021, right? After they start letting us do all the traveling and ensure that we're not, transmitting anything out there. But, no, we feel so blessed to be, a part of this company that really wants to help people and help their animals. And I printed it out just because I don't, know it by heart per se, and I probably should. And now my stuff's all moved around. But, when Nick started this, he had a vision, right? And that vision was to really help the people, help the planet. Draw awareness towards, not only the bees, but also veterans. And, veterans take their lives 22 times a day. And, because of PTSD and other, issues. And, he's been able to give back in a big way that has changed his life. And, if there's anything we can do to help change, your lives, we'd love for you guys to try out our Colorado Hemp Honey.
Well, I mean, for the veterans cause alone, that's absolutely such a worthy cause to support. And at our store, we give a veteran discount every day. And we really believe in all that our veterans have given up in order to go and support our country and to protect our country. And so I absolutely stand behind that. And I think it's a really cool foundation to a business to support that model. So we really appreciate that and appreciate the health benefits of honey and hemp. I mean, how can you go wrong? Honey and hemp. But we appreciate you joining us tonight and giving us 20% off Colorado Hemp Honey going forward until the end of September. So everybody run into the stores and purchase your favorite Colorado Hemp Honey product and give it a try out.
Indeed.
And yeah, I don't think there are any other questions. So I
We
think
did a great job then. We answered all the questions that could have come up.
all the bases. And I really enjoyed having you on tonight and chatting with you. And I'm glad we only had one moment when all the dogs went a little bit crazy. I was worried it might be a little bit more than that because sometimes they get a little protective here, jumping up in the window. So I am glad they cooperated and the kids stayed quiet too.
Yeah, I know. My door didn't open once. I was like, wow.
I know. I always think when I'm at home doing these things of the there was some news clip, like a CNN clip or something, and the man is there, and in comes the baby in a walker, and then in comes the wife, like pulling the baby back and fishing.
Totally. Oh my God, that is so funny. I've seen the exact same one. Yes. Yes.
I mean, it was a little bit ahead of its time. It was definitely before 2020, but it is definitely what 2020 has been like. We had a rep one not too long ago, and her son was showing his monster trucks during our Facebook Live. So it takes all things these days, but we really appreciate you joining us virtually and telling us more about Colorado Hemp Honey. And we look forward to sharing these products with you guys that have been watching tonight. And please talk with our staff more if you've got other questions about this product line. We'd be happy to help you. And Jared, we will see you soon.
Sounds fantastic.
Thank you for joining us. You too.
Oh, of course. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye.